Hello, welcome back to the channel. So with the buffs coming next patch, I wanted to talk about Dot and what I think are more so like the actual problems with it. Now, I haven't seen what the buffs are yet, and I don't want to know until Hoyo actually tells us, but I don't think anything they do to Kafka is going to fix the problems that Dot has right now. It might make her better, but I don't think it's going to solve the core problem. Because the problem isn't Kafka, it's all of the characters around Kafka. Dot just doesn't have very many good options for teammates to give Kafka. Like, they have Black Swan, who is good, it does help a lot, but like, that's kind of it. Like, I've said this in past videos, but the fact that Dot is the only archetype that doesn't have a dedicated support, like, is one of the big things that's hurting it. Like, Follow Up has Robin, Break has Ronmei and Fugue. Even, like, specific characters are getting their own supports, like, Acheron with Jocho, or even like what Hyacinth could be for Casterus. Now, Hyacinth isn't out yet, but it seems like that's what she'll be. Dot just kind of has to resort to using Ronmei, who definitely isn't bad, but like, it's just not the same as like an actual dedicated support, like. And even then, the other Dot options, besides Black Swan, are pretty bad. Like, Guinaifen just does not do enough compared to like most other supports. Like, increasing damage taken just isn't that good, especially when it's only like a 7% deep buff. Like, yeah, it stacks up 3 times, but Defense Shred most of the time is just better. Sampo is also like pretty bad because like, literally all he does is just apply Wind Shear, which is just not good enough. Like, he just doesn't really have anything unique about him. And Black Swan just fills the role that he would do just way better. Luca is at least like a bit more unique, with him being more of like a damage dealer and like a bleed character, and bleed is like way better than those other 2 dots, but like him being like single target does hurt him a lot for this kind of thing, and his bleed damage is capped with his attack, which does hurt him a lot because he is a 4-star, so his attack is not that good. And also, you can only really use him against like physical weak enemies. Now, I will say that I do think Luca is probably the best out of the 3 options, especially if you give him like a lot of like break effect, because the bleed from breaking physical weak enemies can do a lot of damage. But like I said, that only really works against, physical weak enemies, and does take a lot of investment that just isn't worth it most of the time when you could just be doing something better, I do think that is the problem with a lot of older characters, is that like, you can make them work, it's just not worth a lot of the investment most of the time, I don't know, it really just feels like Dot is just missing that one like core character that brings the whole thing together. Like, yeah, they have Kafka as like the main like damage dealer, but like, they just don't have anything that really gives them the boost that they need. Like, maybe have like a support that doubles all of the dot damage that the enemies take. Maybe allow your characters to apply twice as many dots, or like maybe give a damage buff based on like how many dots are on the enemy. Like, literally anything, because right now Dot just has nothing. Like, the last Dot character we got was Black Swan, like a year ago now. And like, both Jocho and Cypher are like way more for Acheron and like debuff focused characters. And don't really, I don't know about Cypher since she isn't out yet, but at least Jocho doesn't really work that well with Dot. Like, they haven't even gotten like a new relic set. Like, the Prisoner's set, which is like the main one that they use, came out in 1.5, which is like a year and a half ago. And like, the closest thing that they got was like I forgot what it's called, but the Acheron set for like the debuffs, which could be like okay on like Black Swan, but even then you would still much rather have the Prisoner set. And it's not like the Prisoner set is bad, because it is like the best option for Dot characters, but like, when every other character and archetype is getting something new, Dot just can't keep up. Also, I do want to say that I'm not saying this because I think that Dot is unusable. You can clear most of the content with Dot. It just feels like Dot is like falling behind. It just doesn't feel that good in most of the current content. And I do think that that is the most important thing, because whether a character is like good or bad, I think that if it doesn't feel good to play, then that is a problem. And Dot just doesn't feel good right now. That's just the problem. Now, how do we make Dot better? Like, 1, give Dot actual support. Like, maybe a Harmony character, maybe even like a Dot sustain character, new relics, light cones, literally anything. Maybe light cones, because I think Dot doesn't really have that many good light cone options. 2, buff the older Dot characters. Like, I really don't get why Kafka was the one to get the buff. Like, she really wasn't the problem that Dot had at all. I guess it's because they wanted to buff like all of the Stellaron hunters at the same time, since they were also doing Blade and Silverwolf. But I feel like, Guinaifen, Sampo, and Luca could all use it way more. Especially Sampo and Guinaifen, because the way they are now, they are just like worse versions of 5-star characters and don't really have anything unique about them that would make them stand out as options. Though Luca could also use some help, even if I don't think he is as bad as those two. Like, I do think just these changes would help Dot a lot, because Kafka and Black Swan are already good characters. Like, and Dot, as a whole, is decent. But like I've been saying for this whole video, it just needs more. To be honest, if I were to buff someone like Guinaifen, because I think Guinaifen has the most potential, because she already has a direction. She just isn't, like, strong enough. I would just make her, like, a full, like, Dot support. Maybe allow Fire Kiss to apply on all dots instead of just burn. Maybe allow her ultimate to decrease the enemy's defense if they have, like, burn on them in place of her A4. Since it doesn't really seem that necessary. Like, it's kind of nice, but it just doesn't really do anything after the first turn. Now, I don't want to go through, like, all of the buffs that I would do, since I might make a full video about that. But I do think that these changes would help a lot. I'll be honest, I don't really know what I would do for Sampo, because, like, Sampo just has, like, nothing unique about him. Like, there's just nothing. At the end of the day, I just want Dot to, like, have something. I mean, Acheron has more supports than Dot does. Like, come on, man. Like I said, I don't know what the buffs for Kafka will be. Who knows, maybe the buffs will actually make Dot have a comeback. I'm not even saying this because I use Dot. I don't even have any of the Dot characters. I would just like a lot of the older archetypes to be better. And that's kind of why I've been making a lot of videos about buffing the older characters, is because a lot of the older characters just have inherent problems with their design that is holding them back, like, you know, Guinaifen and Sampo as examples. But I don't know, what do you guys think can be done to help Dot? Let me know in the comments below. Like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.